Jordan Nicole, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm super excited because I'm going to be doing a book talk on RoseBlood by A.G. Howard. So my book talks do contain spoilers, so if you haven't read the book, I would suggest exiting out of the video, and I will link down below my review that is spoiler free that I wrote on my blog if you want to read that. So RoseBlood by A.G. Howard I finally finished yesterday, and I absolutely freaking loved it. I gave it 5 out of 5 paw prints, and so basically RoseBlood is a retelling of The Phantom of the Opera, and it's a retelling, but it's also kind of a modern day continuation of the story. So RoseBlood by A.G. Howard follows a girl named Rune who has a tragedy happen in her past, and she kind of loses her way and is going through a lot. So her mom thinks it would be a good idea to send her to the RoseBlood Conservatory of Music in Paris, where she can kind of hone in on her musical gift at a school that focuses on opera music. And she also meets Thorn, who wears a mask, and he has his own tragic past, and she has her own tragic past, and he helps her kind of control her music ability. So Rune is controlled by singing. If she hears an aria or any opera music, she automatically has to sing it, and she can't control her voice. It just kind of comes to the surface. So before I get into the more details of it, I want to tell you some of my favorite quotes. So the first one, maybe being here won't be so bad after all. As long as I can avoid the music, the bloodthirsty diva duo, and the phantom's shadow lurking around every corner. Then there's another one. Thorn was alive and devoted, yet his father clung to sad and empty hopes that were half-living, subsisting on borrowed time and unsung songs. Then, I want with all my heart for my fantasy maestro to be real, even if by some impossible twist he's the phantom, 'cause if anyone could help me defeat my song sickness, it's him. And then, because although this academy is full of interesting and quirky personalities, I'm pretty sure I'm the only one who's left a guy comatose in a hospital across the ocean. And then, please, Rune, I don't want you to spend your life with other people's dust and soap scum under your fingernails. Your father wanted so much more for you than that. And then she's out the door and in the limo, disappearing across the bridge and into the sunset, as every fear, fall, and insecurity wraps tight around my shoulders. And then he wanted to stir the music inside her, to drink the pure white light pulsing through her veins. And then, damn the stars and their ill-wrought timing. And then my name written in blood changed me in place. And then all I feel beneath my fingertips now is his heartbeat, steady and strong. It matches my own, satisfied and controlled. It's like coming back to a place I've been before. And then a current, musical, and pure something passes from my skull to my spine to my feet. I'm a quivering thing, the plucked string of a neglected violin, shaking off the dust of disuse until harmony resonates between me and my maestro. And then together we already own the notes, every last one. And then bubble of serenity, encapsulate every staccato, trill, and glissando, then lift them from my vocal cords. And then to land the biggest role I never wanted. And then I feel, taste, smell, and hear only him. And then we're twin flames, incarnations of the same soul, parted while re-entering the world. And then all those nights we climb the stars and rearrange the planets with our songs. And then the moment Edelon joined our hands with that ribbon, we became harmony personified. Musical notes that could not only be heard but seen, smelled. And then we're destined to be lovers, Rune. And then when all the bad is behind us, he'll lay me down in a bed covered in rose petals and kiss every inch of skin until my body is aflame with song. And then guard your throats and hide your eyes. He's not dead, you fools. Legends never die. And then Mr. Maine and I have an appointment with fate. And then, but never doubt that I would cross the universe for you. So those are some of my favorite quotes. I have so many, as you can tell. I marked a lot, but I'm only going to tell you a few of them. So basically, when Rune comes to the RoseBlood Conservatory of Music, she's already kind of heard the rumors that this conservatory used to be the opera house that the book The Phantom of the Opera was based upon. And like I said before, she has this gift, or maybe a curse even, where if she hears any kind of aria or opera music, she's forced to sing. So then she meets Thorn, which he is kind of the Phantom's adopted son, and he helps her conquer her music. So basically, when he was younger, his mammon, or however you say that, I think it stands for grandma, gets killed, and he gets put into human trafficking, and the Phantom hears about a boy who has an angelic voice, and he basically takes Thorn in as his son. And then in Rune's tragic past, her dad died, and she put Ben, a guy, in a comatose. She made out with him at a college party. She drank a lot in order to kind of like drown her gift, where she wouldn't start randomly singing. And then that didn't help, so she kept on kissing him. But little did she know that she was feeding off of his emotions and energy. So she unfortunately put him in a coma. That is the main reason she comes to RoseBlood, to get away from her tragic past. And then later we find out that Rune and Thorn, or his real name is Edelon, are twin flames. They there's a quote in here. I can't find it. But they are twin flames, basically Christine's soul divided and incarnated into their two bodies. So little did Thorn know that his father, adopted father, the Phantom named Eric, who was the one in love with Christine Daae in the fictional form, but in real life her name was Christine Nielsen. Little did Thorn know that the real reason he adopted him was because he had a bigger plan, and he knew that Thorn was Rune's twin flame, and he knew that Rune had Christine's voice. So he wanted Thorn to kind of fall in love with her, and lure her to their underground home, and, help surgically remove Rune's voice and put it in his and Christine's baby's corpse. So, yeah. There's a lot going on in this book. One thing I definitely loved was all the references to the original Phantom of the Opera. I've only seen the movie, so I'm only going off of the movie. But for one, Christina Nielsen, which is in this book what Christine Daae is based off of, had an affair with the Phantom Eric, and actually, had an affair with the Phantom Eric, and actually ended up falling in love with him, and Christine got pregnant, and later on she lost the baby, and the Phantom pretended to bury their baby, but he actually was trying to bring the corpse back to life. So that is why Rune's voice will go to that baby. Also, Rune always thought her dad was the one playing her violin in her dreams, but it was Thorn, because he was her twin flame, and he was connecting with her in her dreams, and that kind of references the whole aspect of the angel of music in the Phantom of the Opera. And in the original, I'm going off of the movie, but I think Christine Daae thought the Phantom of the Opera, or thought the angel of music helping her control her music was her father, but it was actually the Phantom. Also, Eric is the OG, or the opera ghost, which the Phantom is called the opera ghost in the original. The Phantom haunts the catwalks, like in the original story as well. And Charlotte, Rune's aunt, is, called Lottie. And in the original, Christine Daae was called Little Lottie by Rao. And then Eric the Phantom has the same name as in the original. And then the Phantom secures letters with red wax skull, like in the original. And then I don't remember, I need to rewatch the movie, but was there an Apollo and Pegasus statue on the roof in the original? Also, Eidolon offers Rune a rose like the Phantom did in the original. And also, the chandelier catches fire in the ballroom during the dance, and that happens in the movie during the opera. The next thing I want to talk about is the relationship between Rune and Thorin, or Edelon, which is his original name. I'm just going to talk about my favorite shipping moments between them because I love them. It was very slow burning, very realistic. There are so many obstacles they both had to go through, and an actual labyrinth. Also, so my first favorite shipping moment was when Thorin saves Rune from drowning by playing violin in Dream Vision before they ever meet. He saved her life when her grandma was trying to drown her by playing violin music and helping her kind of have the will to live. And then also Thorin wanting to stir the music inside of Rune, talking about, them being intimate, and he says that several times, and those were my favorite moments. A lot of times their love was described as like music, and I love music. I'm a musician, so I really like that. Also, when Rune tries to conquer her arias and Thorin tries to help her, he is like her angel in music, which is very romantic. Also, when they share a spiritual dance, whenever they sing, or she sings and he plays the violin, and whether it be in dream world or through the vents or in real life. When he reads the fairy tales she gave him through the vents, that's such a sweet moment. Also, when she makes the little toe socks for him with the emojis on them, that's really cute because his mammon used to draw little faces on his toes. And yeah. Also, when they were talking through metal cans on the roof of the opera house, she used to do that with her dad, and that was his way of kind of giving her dad back to her, and I thought that was so sweet. And then when they're on the roof and they finally, bind each other with like the ribbon, and then they're connected as one. And then when Thorin, or Edelon, chooses to lose Eric to save Rune, he betrays Eric and tells Rune the plan to surgically remove her voice and tries to help her stop Eric, who is the only father he has ever known, and then drowns their home to save Rune too. There's also an intimate moment in the greenhouse. And then Edelon also talks about wanting to take Rune to Paris, walking around together, letting her shop, reading in bookstores together, kind of mundane things, and I thought that was so sweet and so romantic, and oh yeah, I need a guy like him. And then the last one, Thorin was willing to drown his home to save Rune, and he was handcuffed in like a glass cage type thing, and he didn't know if he would get out, but he pulled the lever anyway so she couldn't escape with her voice, and luckily he ended up making it out anyway. So some OMG moments I had was when Rune gets the wristband in the chapel that invites her to the rave. so that the Phantom can finally lure her and meet her. And then the moment she finds out that Rune's dad actually knew what she was, and the moment when she thought maybe she fed off of him and killed him. When Rune accidentally feeds off of Jax in the rave when they kiss, when she finds out she's a psychic vampire, which I thought this paranormal creature is very different than a regular vampire and very unique, and it was well developed because they feed off of auras and energy and emotions and not so much as blood, like Twilight or The Vampire Diaries or any other vampire book I've read. When Rune finds out that Thorn was going to help Eric do surgery on her, when Rune finds out Charlotte is a psychic vampire too, when Rune has Christine's voice inside of her, when Eric knew Thorn was Rune's twin flame from the very beginning, and then when Eric brought Thorn home as a child because he was Rune's twin flame. So some things I want to talk about. The character development in this book was absolutely amazing. Like I said, each character had their tragic backstory. The Phantom living with the gypsies, and when the gypsy leader taking him in as his son, and the gypsy leader dying, and then giving him his money or something as a laughing stock and kept in a cage for other people's viewing and entertainment. And then Thorn, or Edelon, like I said, he was very poor, starved to death, froze to death, almost froze to death a few times, lived with his mammon. His mammon, what I kind of inferred, was a prostitute. One day she didn't come back, so then Thorn was put in human trafficking, and he wasn't saved until the Phantom heard of his angelic voice and kind of took him under his wing. And then Rune, her father died, and then she put Ben in a coma after making out with him at a college party. So I thought all the main characters were very well developed. I loved hearing the tragic backstories. It really helped to develop the characters. Also, I really liked feeling the point of view from both Rune and Thorn / Edelon, and I thought it was really good seeing into both of their perspectives and kind of getting into both of their heads. Also, like, Rune's friends, Audrey, Jax, Quan, and Sunny were also very well developed. Sunny with her accent and the description of what she looks like. Same with Audrey, how she's short. And Jax, his description of what he looks like, and all their different personalities. I just thought their characters were very, very well developed. I also thought the writing was so descriptive and poetic and beautifully written. And the imagery was so vivid and beautiful that I could picture it all happening in my head. And I thought A.G. Howard described the gothic atmosphere really well, so well that I thought I was there with the characters experiencing what they were experiencing. I also, like I said earlier, loved all the Phantom of the Opera references. Yeah. I love this book so much. I love the Phantom of the Opera. I love books set in a boarding school. I love books that are unique, have good characters, that are plot driven, and have a unique and very realistic love story. So at the beginning, it was hard for me to get through a little bit. It seemed a little bit slow, but I don't know if that was the book or just I had a busy life right then, so I'm still giving it 5 out of 5 stars. I just want to talk about the ending of the book real quick. So the ending was the best ending ever. So when their plan fails at the masquerade, that's another reference to the Phantom of the Opera. Masquerade, da-da-da-da-da-da-da, masquerade. But anyway, when their plan went wrong and the Phantom ends up taking her down to his lair to do surgery on her, I about cried when Edelon chose to save her over himself and pull the lever and drown his home, and I thought he wouldn't make it out. So when she, after Thanksgiving and all, went back to the school and met Thorn in the chapel, I was so happy. I was so happy. I love that reunion, and I had like a sigh of relief. Also had a sigh of relief when at first she couldn't find her friends after the building was on fire, and she finally found them. But I don't know about you, but the scene in the masquerade where the Phantom kind of locks them all in and starts the fire and makes the chandelier fall. The chandelier falling happened in the opera house in the Phantom of the Opera, but that scene also reminded me of Carrie by Stephen King, because they were locked in and everything started to catch on fire. But that was an epic ending, and I also liked with the Phantom's character, or Eric, that he could be a horrible person, but at the end of the day, the love for his son will conquer the bad parts of his soul, and he ended up saving Thorn from drowning anyway. So there are so many good books about this. So many good parts about this book. I could honestly talk forever. And I mean, the cover is beautiful enough. I was already in love with it before I read it because of the cover itself. What else? Yeah, I just really, really love this book, and I highly, 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 highly recommend it if you like music, if you love the Phantom of the Opera, if you like retellings, if you like good character develop or a good plot, if you want a unique paranormal aspect, if you love Paris even, because it takes place in Paris, or you love that epic romance that's very unique and realistic. So yeah, I'm Jordan Nicole. If you want to see my review, I will link it up here, and I will see you later for another video. Please recommend this to your friends, and for those of you watching the video, you should already read it, so comment down below what you thought. I would love to chat. Bye, y'all. like this video if you like it, and subscribe if you like what you're seeing. And happy reading. Bye. Love you.